Hello and namaste everybody. We're back for the podcast. We're sorry for the past 3 weeks. We've been on a hiatus because we had our own personal commitments. I was working on my thesis for the past 2 and 3 weeks. It was quite tough. And Sajal, Kabindra, what have you been doing in the past 3 weeks?
I've been making a lot of yogurt these days. I didn't know that Shravan is a month of milk drinking month in Nepal. This is my first year in a dairy factory and new things are coming to me. What about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to mention for people who don't know, Sajal doesn't sit there making yogurts all day. It's not like he runs a little entrepreneurial yogurt factory. He's the food technologist at a dairy, guys.
Nepal dairy, not any dairy.
So thank me for the yogurt that you're having right now.
By the way, I do have a gastritis problem right now, indigestion and whatnot, and I do have yogurt every day. Your company's yogurt. It really appeases and fulfills my inflamed belly. So thank you so much.
Seems to me we're all having a little bit of problems. Sajal making yogurts, you're with your stomach problem. Me, my brain is almost dead because of the thesis. But what do you think the best part of this past 3 weeks for you is, Kabindra?
Okay, two things. One, I started my new job.
Congratulations.
I'm the opinion editor at Kathmandu Post now.
You always had a lot of opinion, didn't you?
Yeah, I do have a lot of opinion. I love to edit and, shit on other people's opinions. I'm sorry if I, if shit is... You
always
keep
do
that
that.
out.
You always do that. You always do that. What's the second thing?
The second thing is, one of my favorite fantasy books of all time. Mm-hmm. And subsequently, one of my favorite fantasy TV series of all time. Oh, no, never mind. One of my favorite TV series of all time, Game of Thrones, is out. And yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, you and I were a big fan of Game of Thrones, but Sajal over here, I don't think he has watched it, not even a single episode.
Yeah, a Game of Thrones version is right over here.
Yep.
I know nothing about Game of Thrones. Well, things that I know about Game of Thrones are the best character is Jon Snow. Okay, Khaleesi is still alive till season 7. Okay, there was a suspense called Hodor or something like that, and now we have somebody called Ed. No, we have a character who's Ed Sheeran is playing some character.
Yes. He's just here for singing songs.
Oh, right, that's it. So I guess today these guys are gonna talk about. They're gonna teach me what Game of Thrones is, and they're gonna make me force to watch Game of Thrones. Let's see if they succeed or not.
You have to, man. You have to. Kavinder, so why don't you explain to him what Game of Thrones is?
The easiest and shortest way I can explain it is, besides it being awesome and one of the greatest shows of all time, basically it's a story of a fictional continent with multiple kingdoms, but all those kingdoms are actually principalities, or were principalities of the one founding kingdom, right? And the continent is called Westeros. And there's another continent to the side, which is also fictional, of course. It's called
there are
Essos.
four of them, right?
No, there are two. No, there might be other continents. There are two main ones, though.
Okay.
And
So it's basically a fight between two continents.
No. It's a fight between different kingdoms inside Westeros, the continent. And it's a fictional continent. The size probably, from what we imagine, it's the size of South America and North America, maybe. But it's stylized to be England and then continental Europe. Essos is...
I was gonna ask a stupid question. Is it a fictional Earth? So now I know it is an actual Earth where the division is inside our Earth.
Right.
All right.
Right.
I thought.
Do you remember the name of the planet they're on? I don't know what it's exactly called.
What's the name of a planet?
It's not Earth.
It's not Earth per se.
Okay.
It's something else. With Westeros and Essos, and Westeros looks like Great Britain, the island of Britain, but it's massive. And then beside it is Essos, which kind of resembles a little bit of Eastern Europe, but it's supposed to be more like Asia and the Middle East.
It's basically in this continent. There's 7 kingdoms, and there's multiple other nations that are in conflict, and they want the Iron Throne. And what makes the show so awesome is there's an ice zombie, there's dragons, there's children in the forest who are basically plants, and there's like lords and other mythical creatures and stuff like that. And it's definitely a show you need to watch.
Okay, one more thing that I know about Game of Thrones is that whoever the popular character is, he dies or she dies. So would you like to tell me, how do people die? What are the reasons or in what kind of situation do they die?
Well-
I hear it's very brutal death or something like that.
Well, there are almost 10,000 ways to die in Westeros, but let's just list 5 of the most gruesome one.
Or hey, Essos too.
Essos too, yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
how about you guys tell me what were the cruel ways of dying in Game of Thrones? Your best picks. Alright.
My best picks. Well, definitely my first pick would be Ned Stark. Basically, if you watch the show, in season 1 he was supposed to be the leader, the father, the king's right hand man, and he lands himself into some kind of trouble, and we all think this guy Ned Stark, Sean Bean, he's the lead character of this whole show.
Sean Bean.
Yes.
He's playing Ned Stark.
Yep.
He's 006.
006, yeah,
Okay.
definitely. And we think that he's supposed to be the lead character. All heroes land themselves in trouble sometimes, but they're gonna come out either ways. He walks into the platform, the king, whatever the platform it's called. The axe comes down, his head is chopped off, dead.
It rolls
Shocker.
down. And it's a shocker.
Which season was
This
it?
is first season.
Oh my god, okay. Massive spoiler for me.
And I wasn't into Game of Thrones until this, and the fact that the lead character we all thought died in the first season made us into a Game of Thrones fans.
Right. I mean, I'd like to, a little fun fact. Sean Bean, in every memorable movie you've ever seen him, dies.
He dies.
Guys. So it's a big spoiler for everybody who hasn't watched any Sean Bean movie or TV show. He dies.
I should have expected that anyways. Yeah. Any other death scenes?
Oh yeah, so rank 4.
Okay, the
if
first-
we're going, top 5
Okay.
Alright.
from back to front, rank 4 would probably be. I don't know if a lot of Game of Thrones fans. I mean, you'd have to look at it, and you'll remember it now when you do watch Game of Thrones. But for a lot of Game of Thrones fans listening to this, you might not remember this, but it's a Myronese child
Mm-hmm.
who gets burnt alive by Drogon. I mean, it's a bloody child. A farmer or goat herder's kid was not done anything at all, and Drogon is Daenerys' biggest dragon.
Oh my god, there's a dragon involved too.
There are 3
There's
dragons.
a dragon involved too, alright.
There are 3 dragons in the show.
Something new for me. There's a dragon involved in a show. Okay.
Yeah, right.
And a dragon burns a child.
Yeah, there are 3 dragons. The biggest one is Drogon. And this dragon, I mean, dragons are growing big, and everybody wants to, they think dragons, they're going to be tamed by their owner. No, I mean, they're fucking dragons. And basically, yeah, one of the dragons burns a little child.
Alright.
And the show just skims through it. It was so easy for the show to pass by.
We'll come back to that topic.
Okay,
No,
what about
no,
number
no.
3?
So, the third gruesome way to die is, I have to say the death of Oberyn Martell. For Sajal, who doesn't know about this, let's say Oberyn Martell was fighting the Mountain, which is basically the equivalent of Rey Mysterio fighting against the Big Show,
Alright.
I just came out as a wrestling fan, but hey. But anyways,
Alright, it's easier to understand.
yep, exactly. Let's just say Oberyn Martell is whipping the Mountain's ass, is spinning all around, cutting him with his spear. At this point, the Mountain is almost dead, and Oberyn Martell just steps out in front of him, just starts yelling whatnot, and the Mountain grabs him with one punch, knocks all of his 34 teeth out, and the next moment, his head is smashed in his hands.
How?
Crushed. The mountain is so big.
Oh.
And Oberyn Martell is so cocky. His blade, his spear is poisoned. The mountain is dead. But, he's just dancing around, slashing him and being like, blah, 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 blah. And the mountain just grabs him, pulls him, smashes his teeth out, grabs his eyes, and crushes his skull in.
Do both of them die or something?
The Mountain, yeah, we're just gonna let you watch this.
We're just gonna tell you that the mountain
now
dies.
I'm kind of interested, man.
Yeah.
A 619 cannot kill a Big Show. so how did the Big Show die? Does the Big Show
The
die?
Big Show dies, but there's a
But-
twist.
Uh-huh.
619 is crushed. His skull is
He's dead.
crushed.
Oberyn Martell, the 619, is dead. But the Big Show, let's just say,
The Big Show is dead.
if we have to replace this, let's just replace Big Show with Undertaker.
Undertaker.
So Undertaker dies and he comes back.
Nice, good one.
That's a good analogy.
When I see, which season is this?
This is, I guess, season 5, right?
You just have to wait and watch.
We're already spoiling so much for you. You just gotta watch this one. And Raga, what do you think about the second death?
Okay, I guess.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2. I guess I have a fascination for people getting burnt alive. You know, I picked the Marinese kid getting burned by Drogon, and now I'm going to go with Shireen, sweet, innocent child, another child. You know, King Stannis.
How old?
Probably 9-year-old.
Yeah, probably 8 or 9 years old.
A kid.
Yeah, a kid. You know, prepubescent kid.
Lots of kids die in this game. In this series, I mean.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of people die overall. And, you know, the worst part of all of this is Shireen has done no wrong. She survived a life-threatening disease called grayscale, which is a big thing in the show, when she was a kid. And she is Stannis Baratheon, the King Robert Baratheon's, younger brother's kid. So after Robert dies and Stannis is in rebellion as King Stannis, she's pretty much, the crown princess, if you will.
Okay.
And
She's
in the end,
post,
right? And in the end, her own dad agrees with the Red Priest, and to appease the Red Fire God, burns her alive. Again.
Yes. A kid. Okay, lots of kids are being burned alive in this show.
It's a very brutal show, dude.
Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, that's it, and
I guess. Number one, death.
Okay, there's something worse than a kid being burned alive. Okay, so there's a child being burned alive. There's a Big Show killing Rey Mysterio, and Agent 006 dies in first season. So can there be anything worse than this? I mean, you guys have not mentioned your number one. Yeah, I'm very curious, man.
Yeah, of course.
What's the worst way to die in Game of Thrones, man?
Of course. Well, Sajal, imagine yourself being in the most comfortable position.
Okay, let's leave that out. Let's say when I'm pooping. Yeah.
Exactly. When you're pooping, that's the moment when you're at your most comfort zone. You have to refresh your mind. You're letting everything go, and your own son comes with a crossbow and kills you.
Damn, man! I was seeing my Facebook and somebody kills me. That's bad, man.
That's
when I'm
really
pooping,
bad.
I'm seeing my Facebook and then somebody kills me.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be the most horrible death of all time, but it is horrible for the person dying.
How does he die?
Basically,
does he get shot or stabbed or killed by a dragon? No, I cannot say that.
No, by a crossbow.
Oh,
basically, so his own son comes in with a crossbow and he's taking a shit. And a lot of people talk about how right before people die or right after people die, I forget what it's called. I forget the term, but apparently they lose their bowels at death, right?
Yeah.
And imagine you've already losing your bowels, so you're all good to go to die, and your son comes in and
kills you.
I'm sure the last word he said was shit. Shit.
But yeah,
that was our top 5 gruesome death in Game of Thrones according to us. And Sajal, I hope our spoiler and our talk has enticed you to watch Game of Thrones very, very soon.
This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna print all the characters' pictures, and as I see the season in a chronological order, I'm gonna make a cross whoever dies. But I hear that somebody came out from their death, Jon Snow or something like that, the British guy. He does come out from his death, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you just have to watch
true.
it.
You gotta watch it, Sajal. I mean, we don't want to overload you with too many spoilers because then you're not gonna watch it. You're just gonna rely on us.
There's nothing more to expect, man. There are dragons. There are filthy dragons who kill children. They're like a son who kills a father when they're shitting, man. What else can I expect, man?
There's so much more.
We even forgot the incestual relationship between a brother and sister, who's basically a king and another product of incest, who's coming to claim the throne from the girl who is in a
relationship.
Okay, I was gonna ask you guys, would it be okay for me to watch this series with my father? And now I know my answer. I don't have to ask anything. Okay,
On that note, we would like to end this podcast. We would like to thank all the listeners, and we would like to wish you a very good week or whenever you're listening to this. This has been Kabindra, Sajal and Avant from the Marauder podcast. Goodbye.
Adios.
This is what you listen to in the Marauder.